Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Flash for the Win. Welcome back to another StarCastTV commentary. This is going to be a little bit different from our normal commentaries. Normally we go through best of threes, best of fives, whatever. This will be a series of 3 best of 1s. So if a player goes 2-0 in the first 2 replays, we're actually going to be seeing a 3rd replay. So this will be very nice. We're going to see full 3 games no matter what. And I'm very happy to say that this is going to be a best of 1, a 3 best of 1 series between Mini and Action, 2 very accomplished and very good players. As you can see here, as the blue Protoss spawning at the top left-hand position on, I believe, Overwatch, it's going to be Mini, which means that down here at the bottom right-hand location as the, I don't even know what this color is, I guess yellow-orange Zerg? Dark yellow Zerg, maybe, is going to be Action. A little bit background between these 2 players. Both these players are fairly solid. I think Mini peaked at round of 4, I want to say, for both the ASL and the KSL. I forget exactly which seasons. My memory is failing me a little bit. But he is a very solid Protoss player. Has dropped off a little bit these past couple of tournaments, but who knows? I think he can definitely raise himself back up there. So definitely a very solid, I would say, A-class level Zerg, or sorry, Protoss. Whereas Action here, as the Zerg player, everyone knows he used to play on KT Rolster. Mafia Zerg was his nickname. Oh, unfortunately gets his 12 hatch blocked here by the probe. But anyways, Action is a very solid Zerg player. Definitely A-class Zerg. Made the round of 8, I believe, in ASL 8, I want to say. And ASL 9. I think he played Flash in the either the group stage or the round of 8, one or the other. Anyways, we're gonna see that Action has just in fact just gone down and went for spawning pool, seeing that Mini is blocking his expansion with the pylon, and that Macy is gonna go ahead here and take the hatchery at this 6 o'clock position. But anyways, so between these 2 players, very strong level of players here. We're gonna see some great games hopefully out of them. On the other side of the map, Mini has gone for the Gateway first opener. And he's going to be producing and rallying Zealots across the map. Put some pressure here on Action, who has in fact gone for a delayed spawning pool. So it was basically a 12 pool, but even later than a normal 12 pool build because of the fact that he was trying to put down his hatchery first. So he had banked up quite a few minerals here. Looks like Action's 3rd hatch is going to get denied once again. He's going to see that the Zealot is over here as well. He's going to have to try to run his drone over here. Drone is actually going to get caught between these minerals, but luckily it's going to be able to do kind of a ring around the rosy around these minerals to escape the Zealot. And now the Zealot is most likely going to be trapped back here because of these Zerglings going to be able to surround it. The probe is trying to get itself into a nice position. Unfortunately, Action, with some good micros, is able to take down that probe. Now that he's going to have to back up with these Zerglings. Zealots back here doing a pretty good job of microing down these Zerglings. A lot of Zerglings here are battered and bruised, so this engagement here that Action is going to have to try to go onto these Zealots will not favor him very much. Now Action going to try to pull some drones here to deal with these 2 Zealots coming in here. He really does not want to lose any drones. Even 1 drone lost here in the early stages of this game are so devastating. 1 drone going behind the middle patch. He's going to have to run it away. Nicely done there. Another drone. Looks like they're a little bit bugging here on these drones. 1 drone will go down, unfortunately, for Action. That is so super bad. But luckily, these Zealots are going to get surrounded and they're going to get picked off here by these Zerglings. Finally. But some damage being done here by Mini, forcing especially a lot of Zerglings coming out here, more than Action definitely would want to. And he's coming over here with the Zealot, going to try to pick off another one of these drones. Is one of these drones badly damaged? Yes, here it is. One's over here. Will the Zealot be able to get it? No, the Zealot is trying to micro its way around here. Unfortunately, not able to secure any more drone kills. Nice surround here by these Zerglings. Will be able to manage to take out the Zealot without much more issues, and that means back at home, Mini's just going to transition into his macro game. 2 Zealots here going to be blocking off this area, and a cannon will soon go down here. Interesting to note that he's not going for the pylon here at the very bottom. He's instead going Forge Gateway. I think it's because up here maybe it doesn't look as good to put the pylon at the bottom. Forge Gateway might actually be a complete wall off in these situations, so maybe that's the reason why. Beautiful Zergling spread, as you can see here on the minimap. He's going to be able to find where this next probe is coming out of. And as with every single ZvP game, you definitely want to see Zerg try to deny that probe scout for as long as possible, or just deny completely like Action did there. Does not want to let the Protoss see anything that they're doing, because the longer that Protoss is in the dark, the more that they're forced into the Stargate and forced to build Corsairs, which might not be as useful for later on in the game. You know, you're investing 150 minerals and gas into your Stargate, you're investing another 150 minerals and 100 gas for each Corsair. And that means that that's a lot of money that's sunk into that you might not even get much information out of, you know. And as you can see here, Action has just gone for the layer with the Spire. Interestingly enough, that the Spire is over here at the third base instead of inside the main. So maybe it could be hiding the Spire for when he wants to go into a Mutalisk transition. I mean, he's getting a very fast second gas here. So this very well might be a Mutalisk threat instead of any kind of Hydralisk build. That's what it definitely looks like for now. I mean, fast second gas, Spire at the hidden third base location. Well, I wouldn't say hidden, but it's not normally placed here in the main. You would normally see it back here somewhere. There's the Hydralisk then. But as we see here, 4 hatcheries, no 5th hatchery for Action, and he's now banking up a lot of gas for these mutas when they pop out. We'll see if he's building any more, building any more Corsairs. He is. Second Corsair on the way. No +1 upgrade though. So this could be almost an Ihan timing style here from Action if he's able to produce 1 or 2 batches of Scourge alongside his Mutalisks. This will be very bad. And Mini here is actually going after these Overlords instead of going after the scouting information instead. This actually could backfire on him very hard here. If he goes after the Overlord, he's going to say, well, I can supply block you, but at the same time, Action with 1 batch of Corsairs or Scourge coming out here, 6 Mutas on the way. This could look really bad. He's going to see the Hydralisk then and say, okay, this looks like a very standard 5 hatch. Even the first Hydralisk coming out here, no Scourge just yet. So he might be thinking, oh, this could be one of those 5 hatchery no layer Hydra builds, but instead he's going to fly in here. He's going to be able to see the Spire. There it is. Mutas are coming out. He will see the Mutas, and now he's going to have to build some cannons back at home to defend against the first cannon going down here at the main base. Needs a probably cannon here inside the mineral line. Zerglings are going to try to pressure here at the front, but the Zealots are going to try to run across the map here, do some damage, and maybe stall out the Mutas so the Mutas can't go into the main base. But instead they're going to ignore the Zealots for now, go inside the main base. Is he going to be able to get enough damage down here? A lot of cannons going up here, even a shield battery to protect these Corsairs. Ihan timing style right here. The Scourge managed to pick up 1 of the Corsairs here. Third Corsair managed to pop out right now. The Mutas are trying to deny these cannons as much as possible. 1 cannon up at the top is going to be able to finish. Are there any cannons here at the natural? No, no cannons at the natural base, which means that these Zealots are going to be coming here into this natural, but no legs. Oh, legs are almost done right now, but no +1 upgrades, I think. Oh no, +1 is done. There is 1 Sun Colony here at the third base. Will these Zealots be able to get in here and do enough damage? We're going to see. It's not Sim City. There's no defense here for the Sun Colony. These Zealots are going to get right on top. Onto the Sun. The Sun will go down. That means the Mutalisks are going to be forced to be brought back here. There's 1 more Sun Colony down here that is more Sim City along with this Extractor and the Spire. That one will not end up going down. And so this Zealot harassment will end up being stopped. But at the same time, it means that these Mutas were not able to get as much pressure as he really wanted to. Now, this buys Mini a lot of time to get these cannons up here at the natural base, as well as Storm and more Corsairs coming up here. No +1 upgrade yet onto the Cybernetics Core. I think he realizes that it's a little bit too late to get that +1 upgrade. So he's just going to forego it entirely. More Mutas, more Scourge. Wow, this is a massive air force here from Action. Will he be able to come in here with a very nice Scourge trap onto these Corsairs and manage to pick most of them off? The Corsairs are positioned here at the natural base instead. And here comes this big Scourge trap. Will Action be able to properly clone these Scourge onto these Corsairs? This is going to be the big issue right here, right now. Here come the Corsairs. Will the Scourge trap be able to connect? A couple of Scourge going down right now. Beautiful connections here onto these Corsairs. More Corsairs falling. The Scourge trap is working. No more Corsairs are existing. No cannons are up either. The Corsair is coming in here. 1 more Corsair was built, but the Scourge are going to be able to connect onto them as well. There's no more cannons, no more anti-air, and no more Corsairs being built either. Will there be enough energy on these high tempo to storm the Mutas? But right now the Mutas are sitting on top of the probes. That means that storms, if he were to storm, these Mutas would actually storm his own probes. Corsairs, no Corsairs being built. Are there Dragoons being built? Yes, 2 Dragoons, but Dragoons do not fare very well against these Mutalisks. Are we seeing more Mutilisks bringing rallied? Yes, 3 more Mutilisks in production right now. The High Templar coming over here. Will they get some good storms? One missed storm there. A second storm. Nicely done there. That was a decent storm. And now the Mutilisks here are going to be able to pop off onto this High Templar. And now going to be able to target down the last remaining Dragoons. Another good storm here onto the Mutilisks. But the Mutilisks are still at half HP, which means they are going to be existing for a very long time. Mini's even just given up on building any more Corsairs, realizing that there's absolutely no hope to build them, as Scourge are just continuously trapped right on top of those Stargates. No, he is going to try to build one more Corsair, but the Scourge is going to manage to pick it off immediately. I mean, he's got 2 batches of Scourge. Even if he loses one batch to Dragoons or Storms, he's going to have another batch of Scourge ready. Mutilisks are coming in here. It looks like +1 Carapace upgrade onto his air, onto the Hydras are being built. Oh man, this Corsair being built, immediately getting taken out right now. +1 range on these Dragoons are also trying to get up, but that is going to be way too late by the time these Mutilisks are done. Even now, targeting down the Cybernetics Core, this upgrade is not long for this world whatsoever. More Overlords are being built right now. It looks like Mini is going to be stuck on one base for the foreseeable future. I don't see any kind of Jamie vs. Zero heroic comeback. I mean, once this Cybernetics Core goes down, it's going to be game over. There's just going to be no anti-air. Speak of, High Templar goes down. I mean, he's going to transition most likely into just yet another tech switch into Hydralisks most likely. Now that he doesn't have many High Templar leftovers, Dragoons are falling as well. Oh, he went to Lurkers instead. He's going to try to break down the front and then transition into maybe a Hydra or Zergling run-by here. Cybernetics Core has gone down. Only a High Templar left over to try to defend. No anti-air left to speak of. 2 Dragoons left, or 3 Dragoons left over here to push back these Mutilisks. Now the Mutilisks are starting to dwindle. These Dragoons are fairly tanky. The Mutilisks are being forced to pull back. Speedlot's going to try to come in here to get some damage done, but there are quite a bit of some colonies back home to defend. A nice evolution chamber here to SimCity at the top. Drones being able to do a nice drone drill to stop these Zealots from being able to attack that Sun colony. And even if the Zealots were able to get on top and do some drone damage, which they have done a little bit, it doesn't matter. Mini is trapped on one base right now compared to the very strong 3 base full drone saturation economy that Action has. And it seems so difficult for Mini to come back in this game. I mean, he's trying to reestablish his main base right here, but this Nexus is most likely just going to get picked off again by these Mutilisks. These Mutilisks are going to dive back in to that one lone cannon here at the main base, and those are going to go down very, very quickly. Lurker is doing so much damage to these Zealots that are trying to come out here. No robotics facility. I mean, he can't even afford a robotics facility at all. Mutas come in. A decent storm here onto these Mutas, but the High Templar will get picked off. The cannon got picked up. The Dragoon gets picked up. And I think that Action here is going to take game number 1. Mini will most likely tap out here relatively soon. Another decent storm. And there's the GG. Action with a very beautiful Ihan timing right there. And that is going to be game number 1. So Action taking the first best of 1 here against Mini. Really well done by Action. Incredible Mutilisk Scourge timing to deal with those Corsairs. And we're going to go into game number 2. And this game looks like it's going to be played on Gladiator. Action spawning up here at the top left-hand position as the greenish Zerg. She's over here as the top right-hand position as the blue Taurus is going to be Mini. So Action did a very good job. Mini, I would say, also did a fairly good job. I mean, he did scout out the Mutalisk with that initial Zealot run-by. And because he was able to see it, he was able to stall the Mutalisk a little bit. He just wasn't able to get those cannons up in time. And that's the danger, I mean, of trying to play this matchup as Protoss. You're just not able to really get into the Zerg base that easily to see what they're doing. And also the fact that he went after the Overlord first. I mean, I felt like that was a very strange play. You would normally think that with how important information is in this matchup for a Protoss player, you would immediately go into the bases of the Zerg to see what they're going after. I mean, he definitely was probably baited a little bit by seeing that early Hydralisk and maybe thinking that it was just going to be skipping layer, or at least skipping early layer, and opting into something more economical with more Hydras, or at least an early Hydra timing. But instead, you know, Action went for Mutalisks, hiding the Spire at his third base, doing a very good job. But I really feel like Mini, this game with the first Corsair, is definitely going to fly into the main base of the Zerg instead of trying to go after Overlords. It looks like it's going to be an overpull build over here from Action, with the spawning pool going down right after the Overlord. And Mini on the other side of the map going for the Forge first this time. Again, normally when you see the Pylon Scout with the Probe, you're going to be seeing a Forge first. Normally if you see Gateway first, you want to be a little bit more economical as the Protoss player. You'll build the Pylon, send your Probe to mine one patch of minerals here, and then when the Probe comes back will be when the Pylon finishes and you'll plop down your Gateway. But interestingly note that Mini, instead of building the Pylon Forge Gateway, I guess it could be a full wall off in this position. He has instead gone for the Pylon in the back with the Forge Gateway being put here and then walling off with Zealots at the top. And the Probe will end up seeing this overpull build. He's going to see that hash rate timing. And one pair of Lings being built here alongside the rest of these drones. Mini will be able to see that it is one pair of Zerglings, so he does not have to worry too much about what the Zerg player will be doing. No 6-4, 6-Ling aggression. And the Gateway coming down here for Mini. And we'll probably see him throw down his Assimilator and a Pylon very soon. There's the Pylon. And we're going to expect the Assimilator to come out next. Action in the meantime has now gotten his third base as well. Now, Zerg players have really moved off of this turtle style Zerg. They're more inclined to go for this kind of 3 base, 5 to 6 hatchery style. Normally back in the day, at least I think during the Kespa era and the beginning of Sospa era, or post-Kespa, a lot of them were really going after these secondary natural bases. I think some players are still fairly good at it. I think Larva is definitely the best turtle Zerg right now in the game. But most of the Zergs have been very, very aggressive. Definitely looking at Action. Action's a very aggressive Zerg player, but players also like Sulky and Hero Zero are all fairly more aggressive Zerg players. Normally you'll see them take the more aggressive third base approaches. Could be a third base here as well at the mineral only. Even maybe at the 12 o'clock expansion, you might be seeing a third base playing very aggressively. But back home, Mini is just going to be saturating. But players just going to go into their macro style right now. We see that the Zergling speed upgrade as well as the layer being started here for Action. And Action is just going to try to deny any kind of initial scouting information. Mini doing a pretty good job here, pushing the Zealot out into the middle of the map to use the Zealot instead as the scout. The Zealots are much more bulky and can take the hits from these Zerglings. Don't have to be as finessed as a Probe. But I think Action did see the Zealot with his Overlord over here. So he's going to be able to ward away the Zealot. Decent micro here from Mini. We'll be able to pick off one of these Zerglings. 2 Zerglings. Nicely done here by Mini. And now the Zealot is going to have to run away. Very low health. 2 Zealots on the other side here trying to get in and see some information. Now, these Zealots are actually mainly here to force out either Zerglings here from the Zerg player and even try to get in and get some drone pressure or some information. Unfortunately here with too many Zerglings on this side, the 2 Zealots only managed to pick off 1 Zergling. And the 2 Zerglings here in the middle were able to pick out the other one. And a huge Link Flood coming out here actually from Action. And there is a Pro Pole coming out here. Will the Pro Pole be in time right now? Action is waiting for the rest of these Zerglings to get in here. But it looks like it's going to be fine. I don't think that he is going to be able to break through. Yeah, probes and Zerglings. Oh, the Zerglings managed to get through. 3 Zerglings managed to get through. I don't think they're going to be enough to pick off the cannon. No, they will not be able to pick up the cannon. Oh, they did pick up the cannon. 3 Links managed to actually pick up the cannon. I think the first couple of cannon shots were actually target firing on the Zerglings outside of the wall. The second cannon will go down right now. The Zerglings managed to get through here, picked up the Zealot as well. All these probes are going down here. Mini with a critical mistake, and there's the GG. Oh my goodness, I really thought that he was going to be able to hold this with the pylon wall, but he didn't manage to wall off properly with the probes and the Zealot. And then the cannon was target fired onto the Zerglings on the outside here instead of the Zerglings on the inside that are actually attacking the cannon. So even after he managed to stop the Zerglings here at this wall, the 3 Lings, if they're not getting targeted down by the cannon, were able to take it down. Wow, what a critical mistake there by Mini, and that's going to be game number 2 going over to Action. This might just be a very quick series here on our hands. Action is up 2-0 right now, and we're going to be going to game number 3. And that's sometimes the danger of sending out those early zealots, that if you lose those early zealots, you know, you're going to end up being very vulnerable to any kind of link flood or any kind of big Hydra bust later on, because you're not going to have enough units to push it back. And I think Action took advantage of that. He realized exactly what Mini was going for and what his style was, and he just said, hey, if you're going to go after my information and force me to make Zerglings, well, I'm going to continue to make Zerglings and surprise you with an all-in. And that's exactly what happened. Game number 3 now, going on to Neo Sylphid, spawning here at the 12 o'clock position as the Red Zerg. It's going to be Action up 2 games to 0, which means down here at the 8 o'clock position as the Blue Protoss is going to be Mini. But yeah, critical mistake there from Mini. And this is one of the reasons why I think that most players, you'll see them go for the pylon at the bottom and then forge gateway on top. Because they want to make sure that their wall off is as tight as possible. And even if it means killing off that pylon later in the game, they're saying, okay, that's fine, because I'm giving up 100 minerals to make sure that my wall is as tight as possible. Now, obviously, on Neo Sylphid, it's almost impossible to do a pylon at the back forge gateway, because you have such a big gap here at the top, and plus you already have an unbuildable terrain here at the very top of your base anyways. That means forge gateway is possible and still leaves a couple of holes in the wall. Looks like the probe did go back here, and he is going to be going for the gateway first, and there it is, gateway first. And it looks like another overpull coming out here from Action. Very standard, very safe build order. And the overpull was a direct response to these gateway first builds, actually. You know, most of the time you would see that 12 hatchery openings from Zerg. They really want to be as economic as possible. And 12 hatch against Forge first was almost always the standard, because gateway first almost didn't really exist. It was very unpopular back in the day. But as soon as Protoss realized that, hey, gateway first is actually pretty good, it allows us to get a little bit more pressure on the Zerg, it allows us to stall out their economic development quite significantly with the gateway first builds, because they're forced to build Zerglings, that Zerg started paying more attention to it and started saying, well, overpull seems like the best counter to it. It allows us to take the middle road of being fairly economic, allows us to get this first base up pretty quickly, but allows us to get the spawning pool up very quickly to be able to build Zerglings to deal with these early zealots. And this probe is going to be getting scout here. Action also seeing the gateway first, so he'll know that he's going to have to start building more Zerglings. As you can see here, more Zerglings are on the way. And it looks like 3 sets of Zerglings just going to come in here to ward away the probe and the zealot. Couple nice shots here onto the probe. Again, probe is probably the first thing that Zerg wants to take out here. And it will... Oh, nicely done. Managed to sneak out there. But yeah, as I said in previous commentaries in ZvP, the probe managed to go down. The probe is actually one of the more important things you want to take down. First off, it's very weak. Zerglings can kill it in 8 shots, but also because the Zealot with the probe actually managed to 2-shot Zerglings instead of 3-shot them, because the Zealot will leave Zerglings at 1 HP, and the probe will actually do the finishing shot to those Zerglings. So the probe actually much more important than people realize. Oh, actually... interesting here, Action is going for the 3rd base inside. So it could be potentially another big attack that he's planning. Almost never see this 3rd hatchery stuck here inside the main base. Could just be almost like a ZvT style 3-hatch Mutalisk build. But he did go for speed first, so it looks more like a Zergling all-in. Also, he realized that the Forge is very late here. But, I mean, the Forge will be finished and the cans will be finished by the time that the 3rd hatchery finishes. So, it's a little confusing here. He is continuously build a lot of Zerglings. This could play out very similar to game number 2 here, with these massive amount of Zerglings managing to pick off a lot of Zealots. Speed will also finish very soon. We'll see. Oh, Zerglings did manage to sneak by because the Zealots were out in the middle of the map. 3 Zerglings are going to get into the main base here, and we're going to see how much damage they're going to be able to get done. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, 3 Zealots are going to try to come in here and do quite a bit of damage. A nice concave here by Mini. Action, not microing these Zerglings over here. None of these Zealots have gone down. Okay, now they're starting to go down. The very, very damaged Zealots And speed has finished now. Both these zealots, all three of the zealots will end up going down. Speed upgrades, Zerglings are going to come in here. These Zerglings will end up living forever inside this base, and that means that there's going to be a lot of pressure here for Mini to try to hold on. As you can see, the probe pull right now stopping the wall in for Zerglings trying to get in, but these two Zerglings here inside of the main base, I mean, these ones will live for almost forever. Meanwhile, back at home, he is going to be very content with just droning up heavily behind this Zergling pressure. Zerglings are trying to get in here right now, picking off a couple of these probes. Nicely done here. And the Zerglings are going to continue to be of a massive nuisance to Mini. And 2 more Zerglings managed to pop in here. 4 speedlings inside the base of Mini. This is so bad for him. That means they can also contest any kind of early Zealot pressure. And that means that action on the back of this is just going to be able to easily, freely take his 3rd base here, his 4th hatchery at that middle only. Wow, these Zerglings here are just going to continue to disrupt the economy. Another probe going down here. Mini is probably tilted out of his mind right now. He is not getting anything going his way. We don't see a Hydrogen just yet. Oh, there's the Hydrogen. I was just about to say. Most likely going to see that coming down very soon. And he could just go for a 4 hatchery Hydra bust. Cybernetics Core going down here now. And another probe getting picked off, and the Zerglings with the speed upgrade just continuously to run rampant inside the main base here of Mini. Another probe looks like it will go down. Not a single link has gone down yet, and this is the danger of giving up those early Zealots here by Mini. A little bit too aggressive, I want to say, especially after what happened in Game 2. I think he would have learned his lesson. Maybe once he probably should have delayed that Zealot push to make sure that, you know, he can keep those for an impending larger attack, maybe with that +1 Zealot legs and +1 upgrade timing. Instead, just losing so many of these probes to these Zealots. I mean, another Zealot's out here in the middle of the map. He's trying to get some counter pressure across, but is just not going to be able to do anything. You know, Action has just done a beautiful job here of remaking the perfect amount of Zerglings that he needs to. I mean, he has so much money right now to be able to build as many drones behind this and commit to the Zealots all the same. 4 hatchery production is really hard for me to keep up with, especially when he's lost so many workers. I mean, the worker count's even. Usually Protoss here at this point would have so many more workers. Instead, here comes the speed upgrade from the Hydras. Hydras being built right now. The probes are still being pulled off the line to try to ward away these Zerglings, but now a potential counterattack. I mean, this is not even a wall off here. Zerg could try to run back through here and get some damage done. Another Zergling finally managed to get picked off here. Stargate's being built. The cannon's finally being built. Mini said enough is enough. These Zerglings now are just going to end up being going down, and so he's just going to be forfeiting those. Doesn't really want to rely on the APM necessary to micro those around. +1 air upgrade, that's exactly not what you want to be going for at this point. I mean, I guess he's scared of Mutalisks, but at the same time, at this point in the game, Protoss is just so in the dark. He has no idea what Zerg wants to do right now, that he can only try to hedge his bets and go one way or the other. I mean, he can't commit to both. It doesn't make sense for him to commit to both the +1 air and for the leg upgrades. He just doesn't have the economy necessary to deal with it. A couple of Zealots going down here as well. The Hydras are probably going to come in here and manage to pick off these cannons. I mean, +1 range is almost about to go down. Here come the lanes running by here onto these cannons. The Hydras are going to manage to pick off a couple of these cannons. Not just yet. The Lings managed to pick off one of the cannons. 4 Hydras left over, and they're going to pick off the last remaining cannon, pull back, deal with the Zealots, deal with the probes, get some more economic damage. These probe pulls, yeah, they're nice and all to keep him alive, but I mean, he doesn't have the economy really necessary to maintain this probe pull. That's so much economy being lost. 5 probes they're not mining, and he's delaying for these cannons, sure, but I mean, 11 Hydralisks in production, a 5th hatchery is on the way. He should be canceling this +1 air upgrade right now and immediately transitioning into a Citadel of Adun, but this is so too late. I mean, by the time these 11 Hydras get across the map, they're going to bust down through this front door. They're going to bust through those cannons, and there's going to be needing another probe pull, and he can't afford a probe pull. He's only got 32 probes right now. Zerg has got 30 drones. He's comfortably mining off of these 3 bases, as you can see right now. Beautiful drone saturation by Action. Corsair is trying to get some counter pressure onto these Overlords, but it does not matter whatsoever. The front door is going to go down. More cannons being going down, and he doesn't even have enough economy to sustain all of this cannon production. The Forge, the Gateway, both are going down right here. Probes are being pulled to try to stop these Hydras from coming in, but as you can see here from the additional Hydralisk reinforcements, this looks like it's going to be the end here for Mini. Once the Hydras move in, micro down these cannons. So many Hydras. Looks like 2 control groups of Hydras right now. Probes being pulled off the line. Beautiful micro here from Action, pulling away so that the probes can knock down on top of these Hydras. The cannons are going down. 2 more cannons going down, only 2 left over, 1 cannon left over now, the probe's going down, and that's going to be GG. Action with a clean sweep, 3-0 over Mini. Beautifully done here by Action, and Mini's going to have to go back to the drawing board to see what he needs to do to change up his strategy. Clearly, something was not working out for him in this ZvP. Now, obviously, Puros does have a hard time in this matchup, but definitely some things that he could have done a lot better. For example, maybe some better game sense of not pushing out with those Zealots too aggressively. Action just really punished him by building a lot of those Zerglings. And, you know, building the Zerglings, yes, it might be a waste if Zealots do not push out across the map, but they can also be used later on for the impending Zealot push. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This was an excellent series. I enjoyed casting this. And we'll see you guys next time for another StarCastTV commentary. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.